how does business events, I'm talking international meetings and conferences where sometimes tens of thousands of people land in the city, how do they stay out of this argument? Will they be able to? It's interesting. I think there are already signs of big conferences having a bit of pushback.
Well, it's interesting actually because there's a very recent example. So Mexico City, it's on the brink of a water crisis at the moment because of a huge drought, and there's 8.8 million people are expected to be without water. Now there's a huge football summit. The World Football Summit has just held a congress there for 1,200 delegates. I mean, is that a responsible thing to do? I mean, like delegates and organisers, they're going to be met with resentment from locals about them using the precious water, essentially.
Yeah, I think this ties into the whole sustainability conversation as well, doesn't it? I think if there is going to be antagonism against large, super large. I mean, 1,200 is not that big, relatively speaking. Some medical conferences have 30, 40,000 delegates. It will be along those lines. It will be along the lines of water shortage, infrastructure, getting people around city centres that are already feeling packed. I guess this goes back to the whole conversation around where does the meetings and events industry position itself.
Yeah.
And this is a conversation that's been going on for ages. Traditionally, in the UK at least, and in Europe, it sits under tourism.
Yeah.
So the convention bureaus, destination marketing organisations sit under that tourism umbrella.
And when we talk to government, it's always we talk to the tourism minister. It doesn't quite make sense in a way. It's strange.
No, and this is why people are trying. You've got sort of the Joint Meetings Industry Council and the Iceberg and various other organisations trying to kind of wrest the meetings and events industry away from tourism and position it under business development or economic development. But, at the end of the day, it's who pays your wages. And at the moment in the UK and Europe, it's tourism. And in the US, a lot of the venues and a lot of the DMOs are funded by hotel taxes and tourism taxes. So it's going to take quite an effort, I think, to remove business and events from that tourism umbrella. And let's face it, delegates do, end up going on holiday for another couple of days. Or
the whole bleisure.
Yeah. But there are post and pre-FAM, and pre-Congress trips, aren't there, all the time? So, it's slightly disingenuous to say that there isn't a link. There is a link.
Yeah. There's also the aspect of maybe business tourism delegates being a slightly more valuable kind of tourist, as it were.
Low impact, high value.
Yeah, that's it.
The idea that they're worth...
Because delegates spend 3 times more than leisure tourists.
Yeah.
And so maybe some of that can go back into the local community.
Well, if it does go back,
the ecosystems.
Yeah, if it does go back, that would be justification, wouldn't it? If the money that's raised from these valuable tourists does go back. But how? I mean, it's difficult to know how that would work. Because when they come up with these figures, they're talking about taxi journeys, eating in expensive restaurants. I guess that is one argument for a hotel or visitor tax, because it's ring fenced. You go to your hotel and it's in the invoice at the end, so that can be ring fenced for local services.